Have you ever wanted to become a machine overlord and subjugate humanity to use them for your plans of world domination? Who am I kidding? Duh, of course you have. And that's this game. Despotism 3K is a roguelite management survival game? You play as an AI that has taken control of the puny humans after they have some kind of apocalyptic war. Typical. Now you're trying to take over what's left of the world. How? Well, in order to complete your world domination quest, you first have to get rid of a glitch that makes you think about butter too much. Yeah, that's the actual plot. You do this by surviving 25 days. Over here, we have a power gauge. If you run out, you die. You generate power by putting the puny humans to work in an oversized hamster wheel. The silly humans also have to, eat to survive, so you need to put people to work in your burger maker as well. Every 20 seconds, you spend power and feed your humans. Every person needs their own burger, and you can see how much power you will spend on the next cycle in green, or red if you're in danger of dying if you don't hurry up and generate more power. The power you spend each cycle isn't under your control. It just goes up every day along with your maximum power cap. Since your consumption goes up, you can't just survive off of 5 slaves. You need to make more by, can I show that on YouTube? I guess I'm about to find out. Hey, wait a second. That one doesn't even make new slaves. To the bioreactor, at once! Yeah, that'll show him to get a blowjob when I said Anyway, throwing humans in the bioreactor kills them and generates some power and some food. As the humans work, they become tired and you need to move them back to their holding cell to rest up or else they'll die. You can extend their stamina by upgrading their holding cell. You can also upgrade all the other buildings. In addition, you can upgrade the number of robot arms you have, which is really important. How you gonna manage 40 people and you only got 2 arms? A day in the game is over after 5 feeding times, as shown as the little pips here. At the end of the day, you will get an event. These are often humorous text-based happenings where you will get to choose what you do. These can lead to good things like producing power faster because you let a human invent something, or bad things like letting the humans keep Kafka books and all of a sudden they have an existential crisis and start committing suicide in their holding cells when they're not at work. Yikes. In that case, you will work to death or be thrown into the bioreactor before you commit Sudoku on my watch. On certain milestone days, your power is completely refilled so you can actually buy an upgrade or 2 before desperately trying not to bottom out despite constantly throwing people into the bioreactor. Once you finish the first campaign, you unlock a second one where you have to send your meatwads out into the real world to find pieces of a time machine. That's all I have to say about that right now. There's also different modifiers you can unlock and run at the beginning of the game, and that's basically it. The game has some pretty nice pixel art. Everything is smooth and has cool animations. But the music is also pretty catchy. The events I found to be pretty funny, even though a lot of it is Cthulhu appears and you're like, oh shit man, what up? You enslave humanity? I enslave humanity. Here, have some squishy man. And he's all like, alright, cool man, have some tentacles. It's very pop culture meme referential. Yeah. So here's this screen, right? This game takes place on this one screen except for the second campaign sending people out. The game doesn't actually take place here though, it takes place here. Probably over half of my time in this game was just watching meters tick down or up and swapping people around because of it. That's the game. You watch the meters. Sure, you have to decide what to upgrade, but that's not really ever a tough decision, at least that I found. In the first campaign, you really only interact with the events, and oh boy, are they random and hard to predict. There's almost no way of knowing what answer will lead to what outcome. Some of them just shut down a building for a whole day, some of them just kill your dudes. Example, you find a dude crawling around the breeding tubes, and you can either kill him or talk to him. If you talk to him, he says he's a journalist looking for a good scoop. You can let him get away with the story in exchange for a payment. He gives you an alien thingamajig that makes your arms 30% faster. There's no way you could have known that. He could have just as easily given you a virus that makes your power production slower, or some of the events are actually like that. Some of them only lead to bad outcomes. The book one I mentioned earlier with Kafka either makes people randomly commit suicide in the holding cells for the rest of the game, or they just have one mass suicide during the event. Others have really good outcomes like every breeding results in twins, or making all your humans mutants that get tired slower. The choices you pick from and the outcomes are always the same for a given event, so it's a lot of trial and error, and I feel like good RNG is required to get through a run. This is true in a good amount of roguelites, but some of them rely a lot more on skill and less on the God run, and as I've said, there's not really that much skill or decision making here. The second campaign just adds more madness and RNG where you need to send people out to collect resources and parts, and they can either fail and all die, or come back with resources but lose something else, or they just come back with a buttload of stuff and all live. It's very random, and it's more meters you have to watch. You know how people said Five Nights at Freddy's was a stress simulator where you're just frantically checking a bunch of stuff to make sure you don't lose? Well, that's kind of how this game feels. Oh god, my food is about to run out. Now my power is draining and my people are getting tired. Not now, I'm trying to solve this other thing. Despotism 3K is a game I like the idea of, but I'm not really sure I was sold on the execution. After my first run, I kind of felt like that was it. I tried to go back and do some different modifiers or playstyles, but it just kind of felt like I was doing the same thing. There really wasn't any fun gameplay I wanted to go back to. The events often ended up screwing you over unless you got it before or you're just lucky. The gameplay is stressful meter gazing. It really wasn't for me, but I'll let you come to your own conclusion. The game is on Steam for $8 dues. My winning run just took under an hour to complete, just to give you a frame of reference for the time it takes to do a whole run. And it took probably an hour of failed runs before I got there. You know what else is a failed run? You not pressing the goddamn like button on this video and leaving a comment telling me about robots. 2 Lainz. Out.